Good morning and a happy Monday to you, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee, here with you on this February 24th, and the time is 6:29. We're marching up at that 6:30 mark. It's also time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal this morning. And Megan, we are not in a first alert weather day today.
Feels like a first time in a long time,
yes,
right?
I'm very much looking forward to that. Maybe some warmer weather in the forecast.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that we do have warmer weather in the forecast. In fact, we'll be seeing 60s this week, so there's something to look forward to, right? Now, you do have to get through this morning first. We're seeing those colder temperatures as you're heading out the door, mostly in the 20s. We do see some 30s as you're traveling towards Pikeville and Prestonsburg, 31, and 30 degrees for Jackson and Logan. And as I mentioned, warmer weather is in the forecast as you head into the afternoon. You might have to shed a coat and go into a jacket because we're looking in the upper 50s for the forecast highs. Some places could hit 60 degrees depending on how much sunshine they get this morning and in the midday hours. We'll see how that plays out. Now, we do have 60s in the forecast not only for Tuesday but also for Wednesday, so some better weather is on the way. Here's a look at that live pinpoint Doppler radar because another piece of good information is we are nice and dry. We're looking at those mostly clear skies this morning, and as we continue into the afternoon and evening, we'll see the cloud cover increase, but again, it'll be nice and dry all day long, and you can see that for the next 12 hours. Again, sunny skies in the morning, seeing the cloud cover increase as you're heading into the evening and overnight hours. Amelia.
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, this morning, Pope Francis is still in critical condition at a Rome hospital, 10 days after he was admitted for pneumonia and a lung infection. The Vatican put out a statement this morning saying the Pope slept and is resting. Catholics around the world and in the U.S. also hosted services Sunday to send prayers to the pontiff, including in New York, where CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest on his condition.
Songs and prayers of the faithful. Well-wishers gathered outside of a hospital in Rome where Pope Francis remains in critical condition. The 88-year-old pontiff was admitted on February 14th to be treated for pneumonia and a complex lung infection. Now, the Holy See says blood tests show signs of early kidney failure. The Pope has been given blood and is receiving high-flow oxygen through his nose. The Vatican also says Pope Francis remains alert and well-oriented. He participated in a small mass in the hospital chapel with workers who have been taking care of him. This woman standing outside the hospital says her heart is with Pope Francis. Her daughter drew this picture of the Pope surrounded by children. Catholics around the world have offered prayers for Pope Francis, from his hometown in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to here in the U.S., including in St. Louis, New York, and Boston.
He's done a great job for the church, and hopefully he continues to be with us for a little bit longer.
On X, the Pope's official account acknowledged the outpouring. Francis writing he's been particularly struck by the letters and drawings from children, saying, "Thank you for your closeness and for the consoling prayers I've received from all over the world." Jared Hill, CBS News.
Over the weekend, the White House said that thoughts and prayers are with Pope Francis. Well, today marks 3 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainian President Zelensky says if his resignation meant peace, it would be guaranteed for Ukraine. And if his country could join the NATO military alliance, he would step down. This all happens as the U.S. tries to negotiate a deal to get Ukraine's rare minerals in exchange for aid, something Zelensky has not budged on.
It is important to understand that this is not the negotiations table that Ukraine is invited to. It is our table because the war is in Ukraine.
Over the weekend, a record 267 drones were launched at 13 Ukrainian regions, killing at least one person. A man was sentenced Friday for the murder of a Big Stone Gap, Virginia police officer. Michael White pleaded guilty to numerous charges. Officer Michael Chandler was shot in the line of duty in November 2021 while conducting a welfare check. He died later that night. White was sentenced to 100 years in federal prison. Police in Louisville say 3 people were killed Friday afternoon in a shooting outside a driver's license branch. No arrests have been made. Police are looking for suspects that witnesses said left the scene. They say they do not believe there is a threat to the public. Governor Andy Beshear called the shooting a senseless act of violence and asked for prayers for the families of the victims. 2 people are facing charges after leaving the scene of a crash in Laurel County. Deputies were called to Parkside Road Thursday night. When they arrived, they learned Andrew Lamb and Courtney Champion already left the scene. Deputies say they later found the 2 at a home passed out in a children's bedroom after receiving a ride. In the bedroom, they found drug paraphernalia, including used needles. Many questions remain as crews work to recover from the devastating flood. Some say they lost not only their homes, but everything in them. Chris Higdon estimates the flooding destroyed $2,000 worth of their furniture and belongings, and their landlord will likely have to replace their trailer.
We were one of the lucky ones. We found this hotel room, and we had a family member that put us up here for the week. And through some donations and stuff, we've got enough to at least pay for another week.
Kentucky Baptist Relief volunteers say they were planning to serve up to 2,000 people by next week. Larry Hunt with Kentucky Baptist Relief says they are doing what they can to help because they love people and they love God. Many places throughout the state are donating supplies to those impacted by the flooding, including Kentucky Power in Ashland. Throughout the week, Sarah Nussbaum helped collect donations at the Kentucky Power headquarters in Ashland to send to Southeast Kentucky, from trash bags, bleach, and paper towels, just to name a few. Nussbaum says it was an outpouring of community support.
We can't control the weather, but we can control how we react to it. And the first thing Kentucky Power is going to do is to jump in and start restoring power to our customers. And in tandem with that, we're going to jump in and help our community. And I think that this supply drive shows that our hearts are in it.
With the last few boxes of supplies packed up, the time came to make deliveries to Kentucky Power crews and customers in need. The Perry County Fiscal Court is receiving emergency road aid funds for a couple of projects. Nearly $86,000 is being awarded to repair a slide on Upper Second Creek Road. The Fiscal Court is also getting a little more than $38,000 to repair a drain structure on Bonnie Trail. Officials with Pike County Schools have come up with an emergency meal plan. 5 breakfast and 5 lunch meals will be provided to children between the ages of 1 and 18. This will begin today between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. The distribution sites include Pike County Central High School, Belfry Elementary, Dorton Elementary, and more. Officials say parents and guardians will only be able to pick up meals at one location. Although the weather is going to warm up, we are still in the middle of flu season. The CDC says Kentucky still contains a high level of respiratory illness. Earlier this week, the Fayette County Health Department said the number of confirmed cases were on the rise. Leaders with UK Healthcare say their hospitalization numbers are up too. They tell us there could be many reasons as to why hospitals are seeing a spike, including different types of flu A and low vaccination rates. But they say it's not too late to get a shot.
Gets our body's immune system able to handle even the run-of-the-mill flu and take it from up here to down here.
Doctors say you should go to the hospital right away if you have trouble breathing or have severe stomach problems and nausea. As we have been telling you all along, it's not just folks in Kentucky trying to bounce back. The Crum Post Office in Wayne County, West Virginia, was also damaged by the flood. The post office is closed until further notice, and all P.O. Box mail must now be picked up at the Fort Gay, West Virginia Post Office, which is more than 20 miles from the Crum location. If customers have questions about their items, they can visit the USPS website. A beloved former Southern Kentucky College professor died. Dr. John Broom served in many roles at the University of the Cumberlands in Williamsburg and spent his entire 48-year career as a professor of history and religion. He was also a charter member of the WYMT Mountain Classic Committee, which he served on for 30 years. In 2014, he reflected on his career.
I've had a ball, and I doubt if you'll ever find any student who took one of my classes that would tell you we didn't have a lot of fun. I would want people to remember me as someone who cared.
And here are the funeral arrangements for Dr. Broom. The visitation is set for today from 11 until 3 at First Baptist Church in Williamsburg. The funeral will take place immediately after the visitation. Dr. John Broom was 90 years old.
All is clear on live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we are not even looking at clouds this morning. It's going to be a nice and clear start to your day. Temperatures, though, are on the colder side of things. We are mostly looking in the 20s across the area, seeing some cities hitting that 30-degree mark this morning. 30 for Jackson, 31 for Pikeville and Prestonsburg, and 30 as you're traveling towards Logan. 19 degrees, the coldest, as you're traveling towards Jonesville. Now we'll head into the afternoon. Temperatures will warm up quite a bit. We'll see the 50s across the board and upper 50s at that. Coldest temperatures 53 in Wise and the warmest 59 in Jacksboro, Manchester, Harlan, and Jackson. Now with some sunshine, we could see some places locally hitting 60 degrees today. Here's what you need to know as you're heading off to the bus stop this morning. On the way to school, we'll be looking in the low 30s with clear skies, and by the time you head home, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Amelia?
Well, thank you for joining us at 6:40. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Rihanna fans are searching for their umbrellas as the iconic singer teases her next album.